people being impulsive, reactive, not taking a second to think.
Denver police say an alarming number of minor arguments escalated to murders last year.
And these are always tough statistics, but the department was releasing its analysis of murders in the year 2022. Overall, homicides were lower in the city, 96 in 2021. It dropped to 88 last year. 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow sat down today with Denver's police chief to take a look at the numbers.
An apartment complex on Dunkirk Street in northeast Denver was the scene of a deeply disturbing crime last April. 3 people, including a 65-year-old woman and a 4-year-old boy, all shot to death. Police arrested a suspect a few weeks later and said he was the nephew of one of the victims.
We did see an increase in family violence.
Denver Police Commander Matt Clark leads the department's homicide unit. He says the triple murder was part of a troubling trend. In 2021, there were only 2 murders connected to what police describe as family violence. That number increased to 7 last year.
All these shouldn't have happened. These shouldn't have happened.
Certainly a concern that, that family members get into conflict that results in, that has tragic results.
Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas says family violence isn't his only concern. There was also an increase last year in the number of murders that resulted from an argument or confrontation that quickly escalated. Nearly 30%, or 25 of the city's 88 homicides in 2022, fit into that category.
Their ability to resolve conflict in a peaceful manner has eroded.
Something that was relatively minor and could have been de-escalated or people could have walked away from, it turns into a murder and has a tremendous impact on multiple families, multiple people's lives.
We're seeing guns being used more and more in crimes. I think we're also seeing that we're seeing younger and younger offenders.
One positive note is that the total number of homicides in Denver dropped from 96 in 2021 to 88 last year, though Chief Thomas says he is by no means satisfied.
Pleased to see that it's going down, but 88 homicides is still far too much. Troubling that it's that high.
DPD says their clearance or solve rate for homicides was 78% last year. It was 72% in 2021. Typically, the national average is right around 50%. Kim and Tom?
You can get lost in the numbers, but these are real lives that are all changing so fast, both of the victims as well as those people who commit these crimes.
I think the headline is that the homicide number dropped from 96 to 88 last year, but as Chief Thomas said, that is way too high and far higher than it has been in Denver historically.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Matt.
2 more hit and runs now under investigation in the metro area tonight. One of them was deadly. It was this morning. Aurora police called to help a person who'd been hit in a crash on Peoria between East Montview and 17th. Officers say the driver had already driven off when they arrived. That victim died at the hospital. Police say they found the suspect's car close by, but they've not yet been able to identify the driver. And last night in Denver, a person was hit at Colfax and Franklin around 6:30, causing serious injury. Police say a white Chevy Cruze similar to this one was involved. It had Colorado temporary tag of 443-8404. If you have any information on either of these cases, you're asked to call Metro Crime Stoppers.
It was anticipated, and now a lawsuit has been filed against the 3 police officers who left a woman in the back of a patrol car on train tracks. The woman in the car is suing after being seriously hurt when a train hit the car last September near Fort Lupton. The officers were pulling over Urena Rios for a road rage complaint. The lawsuit is 40 pages long, and it targets 3 officers involved. 2 of them already face criminal charges for the incident. Pablo Vasquez of Platteville Police and Jordan Stinky of Fort Lupton. A 3rd officer, Ryan Tomachek, is also named as a defendant in the lawsuit, but is not charged.
Today, the State Court of Appeals upheld a lower court ruling that Masterpiece Cake Shop violated the state's anti-discrimination laws by refusing to bake a cake for a transgender woman. Jack Phillips had refused to bake a pink and blue cake for Autumn Scardina, an attorney who wanted to celebrate her transition. Phillips referenced his religious beliefs in his defense, but the appeals court upheld the ruling in favor of Scardina. Scardina says that judgment shows the state's commitment to protecting access to public goods and services.
If you're going to engage in the public marketplace, and if you're going to make money by selling goods and services in the public sphere, you have to serve the entire public. And we cannot allow businesses to discriminate against protected classes. And that's very clearly what Colorado protects. And that has stood up to the challenges today.
Of course, this is not the first time that Masterpiece Cake Shop has been in the middle of legal action. It was in 2015 that the appeals court ruled against the shop and its owner, Jack Phillips, for refusing to bake a wedding cake for a gay couple. Phillips would later win a partial victory at the U.S. Supreme Court.
The Pope's comments about homosexuality are reaching Catholics and members of the LGBTQ community around the world. Pope Francis said yesterday that being gay is not a crime, and laws against those who are LGBTQ are unjust. Rex Harris of the Center on Colfax says this is a good first step for the Catholic Church to move towards a more accepting position, but noted those laws are prevalent in dozens of countries around the world.
You know, in 67 countries around the world, you can still be arrested for being gay, and in about a dozen of those countries, you can be put to death. So while I value what the Pope has to say, I think there's a lot of work to be done around the world to address that.
And Rex noted that many of the policies the church has enforced over the years cause damage to many in the LGBTQ community. The center does offer a group called Healing from Religious Trauma for people who have experienced that type of thing.
Tonight, there are questions around the future of a charter school in Denver that focuses on Indigenous education. The American Indian Academy of Denver is hoping to go from being a charter school to an innovation school in order to stay open. And 9 News reporter Luis De Leon's been following this story. He joins us now with an update. Luis?
Yeah, Tom, to update people, back in November, you can see here supporters of the school held a rally for advocating for it to stay open, and that's when we actually obtained a memo sent from DPS to the school. It said the district had issued several notices of concern to the school over the last few years, struggles with finances, enrollment, to name a few. They were given options like surrender their charter or consolidate with another school, among others. Now, both the school and the district are coming up with ways that they feel they can move forward.
These children are learning principles.
A classroom can tell a story.
They're learning the culture, they're learning the respect that comes with the culture.
For Heather Brown, it's the story of her 7th grade daughter finding a way to stay in touch with her Lakota roots while also going to school.
My son coming here, I've definitely seen a change in my son.
The same can be said for Eric Armas.
And it makes me happy to know that, we're speaking more Lakota.
But the American Indian Academy of Denver is now weighing its options for its future. The charter school's leadership has sent a letter of intent to apply as an innovation school, which would put them under Denver Public Schools.
It would allow us the flexibility and the autonomy to still, implement our curriculum.
Dr. Terry Bissonette is founder and head of school at the academy. She believes the move would help stabilize the resource issues that the school is facing and get more funding from DPS.
Giant problems require giant solutions.
A spokesperson for DPS tells us that the district offered to, quote, partner with AIAD to bolster the Native American programming at the Denver Center of International Studies at Baker next school year. But Dr. Bissonette and others feel keeping the school together helps meet their mission.
It's just not enough. The program idea is not enough.
I asked DPS more questions this afternoon for how exactly that proposal we just talked about would look. Just haven't heard back yet. Tom, no word yet on a time frame for when decisions could be made. There is a DPS board meeting tonight, but as of this afternoon, nothing on the agenda with regards to the school there.
What about enrollment at the school?
It has historically been under-enrolled since it first started, so it's that fine line between providing the resources for these students that they need, as well as also honing in on that culture that they talked about so much.
All right, Luis, thank you.
They call it the silent killer. Half the homes in Colorado have high radon levels, odorous gas that can lead to lung cancer. This month, a number of agencies are providing free radon test kits for homeowners. Jefferson County is distributing 800 kits to residents, and All Colorado Radon, a testing and mitigation company, is also giving out tests for free. Radon is the #1 cause for lung cancer for non-smokers. Experts say because of our proximity to the Rocky Mountains, homeowners here in Colorado have a strong chance of finding it in their homes.
We deal with it every day. We meet folks that have succumbed to lung cancer from radon. If you're a smoker, your chances of getting lung cancer, living in a home with high elevated radon levels is just increasing your chances of getting lung cancer tenfold. So it's just really important out here.
All Colorado Radon is offering those test kits for homeowners for free through the end of the month. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment will also give the kits away tomorrow at the Denver Animal Shelter from 7 in the morning till 10:30.
Well, if you're a little down, if you have the winter blues, we're getting even closer to some good news when we'll see cliff diving inside of a restaurant again.
With yummy food. Casa Bonita made an online announcement today, signaling how well things are moving along. Late this afternoon, the executive chef and Democratic Governor Jared Polis announced the restaurant is looking for 550 people to come work there. Everyone from servers to dishwashers to, of course, the cliff divers. The pay starts at just over $14 an hour for tip jobs and $17 an hour for non-tip jobs. Casa Bonita targeting a May opening.
The NFL coaching landscape was shifting again today, with rumors still swirling about a new frontrunner in the search for a new Broncos head coach. We'll have the latest in sports.
We live near mountain lions here in Colorado. We don't often have encounters with them. That has changed recently.